So in Tarim, they announce death like an event. You like when someone passes away, they make this announcement, this Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And then they begin to name that person, like to call out their name in a very, in a very almost, it's a chant, and then they make the announcement that this person has now passed away. And when the sound would come, interestingly enough, I remember it would always remind me of Israfil, right? And like the blowing of the trumpet, like this is that announcement of this is, that final moment. And so when they would make these announcements, you never knew like who, of course, it's going to be, like who is that, so you'd stop. There'd be a moment where you stop and you listen very closely. Is this my neighbor? Is this someone, one of my teachers? Is this someone that I've interacted with? And so I had never experienced, of course, the announcement of death in such a way that it wasn't morbid. It was actually almost this kind of almost celebratory, actually kind of sound, like I said, very similar to the adhan. But what it did for me was it was a constant reminder of like death is present. And I remember imagining at that time, like two things that would come to my mind. One, where is Malik al-Maut now? Right? Who and his agent, who is he going to visit next with his agents? Like which household is he coming to visit next? But also just the very real presence of Malik al-Maut, like the angel of death, like just being acutely aware that, as the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, that there's an angel of death who comes to visit us 5 times a day. Asking about, is this the time, ya Allah? And so being, acutely aware of that presence, and then always then wondering, now where is that soul now? And what stage are they in now? And in what realm, right? In what samawat are they in now? And have they had the meeting, that conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yet, in that minor day of judgment? So that was something that in Tarim and Hadramaut I became very aware of. And then the next one, subhanallah, was in Gambia, that death is very common. They don't announce it similar to the way that they do in Tarim, but death is so common that it's something people talk about. You get alerts about, someone calls you and says, well, this person has passed away, and just how common death is, to the point that death is very much a part of life. It's very much a part of, I think we were laughing about, in this society, in our realm, like death is such a big surprise. Like, oh no, like, so you're not supposed to die. Like death is like as if something horrible has happened, right? Just death itself is like this horrible happening inside of our consciousness, as opposed to the recognition that death is very much a part of life. Right, in this realm. Like none of us were promised that we were getting out of this alive. Like we were definitely promised death upon arrival, upon the entrance into this dunya, that death was always guaranteed.